Stella Sora. I've been playing this game since day one. I played it during the initial closed beta test, and I enjoy it then. I had some issues with it then, sure. But now that it's officially released, I've been playing it every day. Initially, this review was going to be during the week of its launch. However, once I heard that we were getting an event, I decided to wait on that just so I could see what the event itself was like. For anyone interested in adding me, my UID will be in the bottom description of this video or in the comment section, so hey. But I genuinely enjoy this. I've completed all of the main story, all of the side stories, multiple bond stories, and the event story. So I'm actually reading and keeping up with this one. I prefer this main story to Blue Archive. I prefer the MC, primarily speaking, and the main cast. You know, don't get me wrong, it's a smaller roster at this moment, but what we have now, I like it better. Both stories are good though, so hey, you know, read BA too. There is some problems with the gacha, I'd say. Mainly misconceptions. A lot of individuals view this 120 and say, oh, it doesn't carry over. As an example, this is 120 because I haven't pulled on this banner. But for Chitosa's banner, I have pulled, so there's 80. This 120, or the count towards the one-time only claim, does not carry. However, you can see your history here. You have a guaranteed 120, which is limited to one time and for that specific banner. Hard Pity is 160. That count towards that Hard Pity carries. Meaning it's not that you have to pull 160 times in one banner. If you pull over the course of 3-4 banners and in 160 or 159 pulls, you don't get the character, the next pull is guaranteed to be that character. And the 120 claim does not affect that count because it's a separate instance. People say, hey, the disc banner isn't guaranteed. The disc banner is literally guaranteed. It says it right here. So I don't know where this is coming from. Secondarily, none of these are limited banners. These will be eventually added to standard, so you don't have to pull. With that being said, I have played both a fire team with Amber, who is a 4-star and one of the starter characters, and Dosa, the limited aqua team character, and she is a 5-star. I will say this, I prefer Amber. Both of them are great. I think the damage between both of them is minimally different. However, this is what I will say. The problem I'd say this game has right now is that, at least for this moment, lower rarities are needed to pad out the roster, because if you're investing into an Ignis team, you don't have a lot of survivability or sustain options. You have some, not a lot. Not nearly on par with like Teresa, as an example. And for Anne, who's a character that everybody got because of the registration milestones, you don't have easy access to that because you're kind of having to pick and choose who and where and what you want to invest into. Once again, it's a minor thing, but I still think it's important to note. I'd also like to say I like the flexibility within builds. If you go into your respective potentials, you can see main if they're on field or support builds, and you can generally read these and decide, okay, who do I want to invest into? I don't know why it has a healing icon. It's not a healing icon. It's not a healing ability, whatever. And so I like that flexibility. Do you want to go auto attack build? Do you want to go skill damage build? What do you want to do? And whilst there are, in my opinion, a few mono teams that I recommend, as an example, Chitosa, Teresa, Iris, I do believe there is some flexibility. As an example, if you're going to certain characters, let's say Teresa right here, look at her potentials. You can just look at the generic builds here and see what actively benefits you. And hey, this is increasing her attack, as an example. Squad's attack. And so you can slot in a off-element character for the generic cards they have if you don't have other options, but I do recommend mono-elemental teams. But the content itself, Menace Arena, Proving Grounds, Catalyst Survivor, and Boss Blitz, I like these game modes. I do hope we get more in the future, but for what we have right now, it's not bad. Menace Arena encouraging me to build other elements. Great, fine. Same thing with Boss Blitz, same thing with Catalyst and Survivor. All of these encouraging me to build different element archetypes, I'm fine with. I will say some improvements this game has, in my opinion, over Blue Archive, is that from day one, you can go over to the Affinity tab and read every voice line. Oh, which is nice because it took Blue Archive a long time to kind of add this. But I like it. I don't mind it at all. The talent menu, I don't mind. It's very pretty art. As you get more dupes of a character, the art changes a little bit similar to Blue Archive. They start moving as they become live 2D. They open their eyes, and that's it. It's simple, it's clean, it's cute, it's nice. I would recommend you play it. I believe there's been a lot of negative coverage, but I don't think the game is egregious. I'd say, for me in particular, this is on par with Blue Archive overall. Sure, there's less cute to funny designs, but I'm not necessarily taking that to heart because there's less characters overall. I have my favorites. I love Cosette. I love the main cast and crew. I even like the big boob characters. And outside of that, the discs. They're very cute. They have art on them. You can set them as a lobby if you really want to. And if you enjoy the sounds they make, you can set them as your lobby theme. The 5-star discs come with additional stories. Once again, I don't see anything about this as being bad. Now, I would say there is a definite need for more low rarity discs and maybe low rarity characters, as an example, especially with the healing archetype, because I think as of right now, Terra is a little bit restrictive. Because if you go to the details of the character banner, Terra has 2 limited or high rarity characters. And if you're going to low rarities, good luck, because there is one. And so I feel like that could be a little bit more balanced. But beyond that, I'd say the game is great. I actually recommend it. The event story is nice. The heart links are nice. The bond stories are good. The commissions are quick. Yes, there is a grind for materials to build up characters. And that grind is more intense than Blue Archive. If you're looking at the sheer amount of times you're going to be doing a bounty as an example. However, if you're comparing it to Blue Archive, it is much more simplistic because I'm not going to specific stages for T2, T3, T4, T5, T6 gear because, hey, I have a bunch of T6 gear, but I'm lacking maybe T2 gear, maybe T1 gear. And so it's more simplistic in my opinion. But no, I can wholeheartedly recommend Stella Sora. I don't think the gacha is bad. I don't think the characters are bad. I got the skin, okay? It's a nice skin. I love a lot of these units, even though I haven't met them in the main story. And that is some ass right there. Look at that. And so this is my late review of Stella Sora. First impressions. I don't know what to call it. I will be doing more in-depth information later on, but for now, this is my thoughts. I legitimately recommend this game. And for anyone wondering, oh, hey, top-ups are bad, the 8500 is first time, and a first time 8500 double. After that, it becomes 8500 of the initial, and then 5000, I think like 5100 for the bonus. So it's not that bad. If you're comparing cost, it's cheaper than Genshin by a small bit. So you're basically playing a horror gacha with, you know, a slightly better fan service and less egregious grind and no pure limited characters yet. We're Steepa Anniversary and Half Annie. But either way, I'll see you next time and goodbye.